So I'm coming to you now. You had the concern raised by Colonel Festus Abuaje, retired, and you also issued a statement as the Academy of Forensic Sciences.
Yeah.
In this situation, this is an accident. What else could have been done? You saw the military officers in the town. This is a cocoa-growing town. So they are collecting sacks.
Yeah.
So what else could they have done?
Right. I think the emergency response team on this occasion failed to manage this situation or crisis properly. Alluding to what Colonel Abuaje said, it's a team, and I know for a fact that every NADMO district office has a hold of body bags, all right? And the fact that the news was transmitted to the team, on the program grounds, moving to the crash site would have, been managed or arranged in such a way that they would go with the Ghana Fire Service, they would go with the National Ambulance Service, the police, the military, because it's a team, they work in concert. And knowing what, information that is being given to you, you cannot go there without body bags and then just go collect, sacks from the community and use it on this purpose. The reasons why we're saying they have failed is that aviation forensics is a very complex one. The parts of the wreckage can actually even tell when the helicopter crashed or went down. If it broke mid-air, the distance traveled by the debris can't be able to give an information about that. If there was a collision mid-air, the distance traveled by the pieces could also tell a lot about that. If there was a structural failure mid-air, this could also give a lot of information about that. And then if the explosion resulted from the impact on the ground, the distance traveled by the pieces could also give a lot of information. So being, emergency team, the best they could have done was to have cordoned the place. That was the first thing to have done. You coordinate and make sure the crime scene is not disturbed, because in this sense, it is a crime scene and it's a mourning environment.
By the time they got there, the townsfolk were already picking debris, running away with them.
Yes,
some had been called to bring them back. Somebody just returned the watch.
I'm coming to that part. This part is in relation to the bodies, the dignity of the bodies at the scene. But if you talk of crime scene management in this country, it is a disaster, because it isn't only this scene. If there happened to be a crime scene outside right now, a lot of people will troop to the scene, contaminating the scene and incriminating themselves, because they're going to leave their own biological material at the scene. Investigators will come, the evidence that they're going to...
Naturally, we like to help each other. So what is wrong? Getting into a crime scene?
Yes.
Is it a crime scene, really? Yeah. An accident scene and seeking to help?
Yes. There are do's and don'ts in this train to do most of these things. Yes. So there are do's and don'ts about this, and if you read the second part of our statement, I want to have this national conversation of having a national forensic policy or strategy going forward, which would include education for the public to know what to do in situations like this, so that they don't incriminate themselves, they don't contaminate the crime scene, by way of trying to help.
A national education.
A national education as part of the national forensic policy. All right, we're going to
that would
have
be useful, because as we understand, it took some of the journalists who got there a little early to tell the townsfolk to return some of the parts of the aircraft that they had taken.
Yes.
And also asking them to move away.
Yes.
Right.
And the reason why I said the place should have been cordoned is that the pieces that the villagers picked, when you're managing a crime scene, you want to take pictures of materials in situ where they have fallen originally.
They returned them.
They did return, but that will not serve a good purpose, because if you're going to use physics to be able to determine the impact okay, the direction of impact, all right? They took the part away, they're bringing it back. They cannot actually tell you where they picked it. So that cannot be helpful, even though it can help subsequently in the investigation processes. It wouldn't have been able to help, determine the direction.
You seem to have concerns also as a group that the remains are being taken to South Africa for examination. Yes.
Before I even come to that, just a quick one. The management of the bodies, as Colonel put it, one, if you put the bodies in a body bag, you have what we call biohazard or health and safety issues, because those that are going to carry the bodies, if there are body fluids that are going to leak, onto them and bystanders, and these body fluids have any pathogenic organisms, you're going to transfer it to them and they will subsequently spread it within the community. So that is a health risk. Again, if you're talking about maintaining chain of custody, if you put all of them together, you're not going to be able to tell where you found what, and you picked it, and that will be able to help in forensic analysis. Also, if you put the bodies in that sort of sack, it is going to help a lot of gases build within the bodies, all right, and that would further affect the measures that are going to be put in place to help identify the remains. And then finally, if you put all of these pieces together, the bodies are fragmented, so you cannot tell whether this arm that is lying here is for person A, this feet lying here is for this person. You put all of them together, and when it happens to be mixed together, you find it very difficult to actually be able to interpret your DNA results. And that is one of the reasons why the samples are even sent to South Africa, because there's a difference between regular or normal paternity or maternity testing and forensic DNA testing. Because in forensic DNA testing, you have a mixture of material, body fluids. So you have to be able to use a lot of advanced technology to determine whose DNA profile is this and whose DNA profile is this, and that is why it's difficult. But if it's a normal paternity or maternity testing, you take a fresh sample from a child and the mom and the father, it is very plain. You compare and see, do they match? If they match, that is it. But for this, it's difficult because the bodies are mixed up. So if you put them in a sack, you're also going to help make it difficult for those who are going to interpret the DNA results. And the reason why they sent the samples to South Africa is because of lack of capacity building locally. We have the expertise, all right? The Ghana Academy of Forensic Sciences, we have...
I don't understand. You have the expertise, then you say lack of capacity building. What lack capacity are you talking about?
The logistical and structural capacity. But the human resource we do have. So we have the human resource, but we don't have the capacity to be able to do that. Currently, the Ghana Police Crime Lab, they have certain genetic analyzers which could have been used to do this. But under the circumstance, we have Muslim brothers and all of that in there. We want to have the remains identified as soon as we can, so we can bury them. If you're going to use traditional methods for the identification, it will take time. But if you go to a place where they have these advanced methods like next generation sequencing and all of that, it becomes fairly easy to undertake the process on time. But Ghana hasn't invested in that area, so that is why I want to have this argument or this discussion to bring on board government that we have the human resource. All we need is this to be able to help maintain that. Not to cut you short, it isn't only human identification. Over the years, we've been having fire outbreaks, market fire outbreaks and all of that. The fire service would go there, they gather the evidence and all of that. You need forensics, you need, forensic chemistry to be able to determine the component that you recover from the scene or from the seat of the fire. If you just collect them and you cannot determine the composition, it is of no use. They send it out, it can be done here. But we can do it if we have the, the logistical...
Prof, the president